So we're down in Annecy getting ready for the Maxi Marathon race tomorrow. Just collected my bib number. Lucky number. And yeah, starting to get a bit nervous, to be honest. But yeah, I'm excited to see whether the body will actually hold up. I haven't done as much mileage and running going into this race as I would have hoped. Struggled with some sprained ankles and whatnot, so the majority of my training has been skiing and biking. And on top of that, I don't actually know the course because it's a secret marathon course. So they reveal the course tomorrow morning at like 5:30 when we depart on some buses into the mountains. So yeah, quite a lot of unknowns. Yeah, I'll just have to see how it goes. I always get nervous before a race. I think in one sense nerves are good because it means that it means something to you and that it's important to you.
Driving mildly behind schedule, so really putting the fear flow on the test. It's basically Tokyo Drift.
So after a really long climb out of the first aid station, finally got to the top and saw my film crew again, which was nice. I was a bit happier this time. Had relaxed a bit more, getting into a groove, and the downhill was super flowy and nice, and my legs were feeling better at this point, so I really felt like I could sort of actually run it well. And it was a really long downhill, but eventually I arrived in aid station 2. And the race up until this point had gone really quickly. I hadn't been on those trails before, I didn't know the route. But as I climbed out on the final uphill again, I was entering the part of the course which I had actually recce'd in my race sim 10 days before the race or so. I was just super relieved that I'd actually managed to run the whole thing. It ended up being just over 5 hours, and having done a 3-hour run heading into this race, I was pretty nervous and I wasn't sure my legs were going to handle it. So I was just ecstatic that I'd actually managed to sort of complete the course at this point. This race was a real success for me. Because, like, one thing is the performance side of it. I think I executed really well, but actually taking into account what I've been through the past sort of 6 or 7 months, I didn't expect that I'd managed to pull this off. It was end of November. I actually got diagnosed with a stress reaction in my hip, so that's like a bone injury. And following on from that, I got a DEXA scan done and saw some specialists, and I ended up getting diagnosed with RED-S, which stands for Relative Energy Deficiency in Sport, which is basically when there's a mismatch between sort of the training you're doing and the energy that your body requires to do what you're asking of it, and what you're putting in your mouth and how you're taking care of your body and the recovery and that side of things. And it's quite complex, and I think it looks very different for each individual who gets RED-S. But for me, it was just, okay, my bones are not great. I'm actually, I don't know how you say it in English, like I got osteopenia, which is like basically the step before osteoporosis. And it all sort of ended with the autumn where, yeah, everything sort of fell apart when I travelled down to Thailand to do the World Champs. So yeah, I got sick for that and didn't race. Got like proper disappointed / depressed. And I think that also did impact things because my injury actually came after having sort of taken a break in an off season. So it came out of nowhere, off basically no running. So again, that was just a bit of a, okay, there's something not quite right. Let's go talk to some specialists and find out what the underlying cause is. And yeah, it turned out to be probably more than I'd hoped for, obviously. So yeah, I mean, that meant that December was a write-off in terms of training. I had to take a step back and really just focus on other things. And then in January, I started up with skimo training again. No races, of course, just sort of training away, seeing what my body could handle. So I've had a good winter of training on the skis, which I'm really happy about because the doctors I spoke to didn't think that was even a possibility. But then starting up with the running sort of in February, March was problematic. I think it's gone a lot slower than I'd hoped for, and I've sort of just tried to catch all the signs my body are sending me as well and adjust it accordingly. But yeah, this race did sort of roll around relatively quickly, and I don't feel like I'm in my running shape quite yet. But yeah, I am really happy just being able to toe the line and actually executing a race, which I feel that I can be proud of.